Welcome back to another Slice Tennis podcast, and welcome back to the official first podcast of the 2025 French Open. So, round of applause for the French Open, round of applause for Paris, and round of applause for this YouTube channel and you guys for being here watching and leaving comments and doing everything you do to support the Slice. Remember, if you are keeping up with the French Open, please subscribe to the channel. Steven has got his pre-match previews, post-match breakdowns, tournament recaps, tournament previews, everything you need French Open. Subscribe to this channel. You will get it. I apologize for my voice this morning. The past few nights I haven't been sleeping the greatest, so I'm coming down with a little something that I'm trying to get back healthy because I got a big trip coming up. But that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about tennis, and we're here to do it presented by Betway. Today, we got our Eala hour. Then we got to talk about one of the most emotional moments of the week, Nadal's farewell ceremony at Roland Garros, and how beautiful it was to see the big four out there on the court one last time, and how sad it was as well. And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the headlines going on in the French Open right now. No, we will not be getting into Macron's wife, possibly being who, but we will dive into the YouTube comments per usual. So if you want to be featured in the next episode, leave a comment right now and you will get talked about. Steven, let's talk about your week, man.
Man, how was the week? Week was good. I don't even know what happened.
The Blur week.
Just another week, but another week in paradise, playing with Shepard, my son, hanging out, watching hockey, watching the Edmonton Oilers be an absolute wagon. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about their chances to win the cup this year. And I was talking about before the show. I know you're from Carolina, North Carolina, South Carolina, South Carolina. Sorry,
all the same.
All the same. The Carolina Hurricanes are, I think a team you should start maybe get behind because we got a Kamloops boy, Logan Stankoven, on Carolina. He's a rookie this year, and he's leading the team in scoring in the postseason, which their coach, Rod Brindamore, says can't be happening. We need some of our veterans to step up. But Logan says, why not me? And he's stepping up. He says, I'm only 5'8". I'm about $160, but I'm scoring goals. He ripped a wrist shot, top cheddar on Sergei Bobrovsky, and really, it's standing up to bullies. That's what the theme of that series is about. Florida is a bunch of bullies, cheaters, evil people trying to hurt other players, and Carolina finally stood up to them, and it was mainly because Logan Stankoven. So I watched that last night. Lots of hockey going on.
Has anybody come back from 3-0 in hockey?
I think it has happened a couple of times. And Florida is susceptible to it. So, because last year in the finals, they were up 3-0 on Edmonton. Edmonton came all the way back to force game 7 and then lost in game 7, which is still traumatizing, but they came all the way back, right? I feel like once you've gone from 3-0 to 3-3, it's like you're already back. It's just one more game, but you have to win, I guess, to actually complete it. But, so I think Carolina maybe could do it although I would say they are like, unfortunately, a fairly gutless team. I hate to say it, but like you just like these guys are literally bullying them. Like they're like Matthew Tkachuk is skating around like cross-checking Sebastian Aho, the best player on Carolina, in the back for like 2 minutes. No one does anything about it. Aho doesn't even turn around and like it's just like they're just like taking it. It's sad to watch. But
hey, maybe there was a wake-up call though. They see old buddy is leading the team in scoring in postseason, and the veteran, the guy you just mentioned, wants to take it personal. And the Carolinas, not North Carolina as much, which is where they are, but in the Carolinas, we do like to be the first state to do things, to accomplish things, which is not always the greatest thing in the world to do. In South Carolina's case, we were the first state to secede from the Union, but we made history.
Right.
So, maybe for all the wrong reasons, but we did it. We made history.
Yeah. You want to make history no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hopefully the Hurricanes, they can do their thing. But yeah, next year I will be joining Carolina Hurricanes. I'll be getting mentions on Twitter's. JP, you need to follow hockey. Carolina, like you will love their team, yada yada. I kind of always felt bad because I felt like they were decent when everybody is telling me, and I hate
The
hopping on
decent teams.
bandwagons of teams that are like already good.
Yeah, they're not good enough though, so they need your support. Have you ever been to an NHL hockey game?
Yeah, I've been to a Preds game and I've been to a Stars game and a Lightning game.
Oh, damn. Okay, well, didn't know you were like a huge NHL guy.
Have you ever been to a game, Mr. Canadian?
Yeah, a few, but honestly, not that many. I've been to, yeah, a few. Anyways, that's my week. How was your week, JP?
My week's good, man. Yeah, we're getting ready for Greece, so I'm kind of panicking a little bit on my health. Obviously, it's not like I'm feeling horrible, horrible. It's just anytime you're about to hit especially your first ever trip to Europe, you
Right.
want to be feeling 100%. And the last 2 days, for whatever reason, I've been stuffy. My throat's been scratching a little bit. I have no body aches or anything, but I'm just like, I'm in preservation mode right now, trying
Mhm.
to get correct for it. But other than that, we played in a pickleball tournament yesterday, Memorial Day pickleball tournament,
Dang.
where we had group stages, top two in each group make it to the final bracket.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to complain too much about one of the team that ended up winning, because somehow or another, these two guys got partnered up together, even though they play pickleball 4 to 5 times a week, participate in tournaments. Some of these tournaments are to win money, and the rest of us are out there just kind of, we're hitting around. We don't play that often. They were in our group, which was tough pill to swallow. At the end of the day, we need to be better, but we made it to the knockout stage, lost first round. This is me and Sitton. Um,
Okay. Who's an athlete, by the way?
yeah, who is an athlete. So we lost that. That left a sour taste in our mouths because it was also one of those days that you just play horrible.
Yeah.
And in pickleball, I would say it's more frustrating of a sport to play bad in than tennis, because in tennis there's a lot more room for error. You're
Right.
you're hitting the ball to somebody way further across the court. There's more ground to cover. Pickleball, when you're messing up, 90% of the time it's because you hit the ball into the net.
Right.
And it's like, or you just hit it a little bit too high over the net and they slam it on you. And it's like, I
Yeah.
promise you, you are not better than me at this sport. Like, this is just like, I'm not this bad.
Are you in sitting competitive?
We're competitive, but not like we're able to internalize it a decent
Right.
amount. I mean, it's
Um,
bad, dude. Yesterday, like I hit a bad point and I turned around and, not yell or anything. And I love the guys that we were playing against. This was like a separate team. Nicest dude ever.
yeah.
He's really good. His dad is actually like a tennis pro around Nashville.
Yeah.
And I turn around after I hit the ball into the net for like the third straight time. And I'm like, JP, you are such a piece of crap. You're wasting their time. You're wasting your time. You're wasting Sitton's time because you can't put this stupid wiffle ball with this stupid wiffle ball paddle over the net. So why don't you ever why don't you just stop playing forever? Everybody else would be happy. And then this is all on my walk back. And then I turn around and I'm like, all right, let's go.
That's funny. Go goblin mode. Like, I get it. Like, it makes you mad, especially when pickleball's so easy. You're like, I should never
It's so
miss.
it's so easy.
Yeah.
I hate it, man. But that's my week. So leaving for Greece on Friday. Got
Let's
whooped in
go,
pickleball this past week. So we're only
dude. The
only way to go is up.
European JP is gonna be next level. Like, it's gonna be so funny to see you walking around there, like with these like tiny streets, tiny doorways, tiny everything. You're gonna be like, it's that, like, those memes. It's like the American mind can't comprehend this. Like, you're gonna be
Right.
comprehending stuff you've never comprehended before.
I'm gonna come back a new man. The next podcast I do from here, I'm gonna have a whole different fit on.
Button
Euro
down
fit.
shirt, like cigarette with like a plastic holder in it, just like,
You'll be like, "Oh,
Hey,
JP, have you eaten dinner?" I don't know if they do this in Greece, but I feel like other places like, "Oh no, we don't eat until 10 around here."
exactly, yeah. That's fun. Quick aside, and then we'll get into our next section. One time I was in Switzerland, and I was like, hey, like I was meeting up with these guys for a drink after dinner who I met at the tennis. I was like, oh yeah, sounds good. I was like, just let me know when you're done dinner. I get a text at like 11:30. They're like, hey, we're just wrapping up dinner here. let's meet up for a drink. And I'm like, okay. So I
Dude,
was
it's
waiting
different.
around forever. I was just like, ended up staying out till 3 a.m., which apparently is normal. So, I
I love
respect
it.
it.
Respect it. And since I am going to Europe, also before we get into that, if you haven't watched the interview with Coach Connor Casey, go watch that because I'm sure you've seen the clips. They've been making their rounds. He's got some amazing takes. He's just a wordsmith. And anytime a wordsmith is on the mic, you want to listen.
Yeah.
Now, before I go to Europe, I do need to probably replenish the comedian we just saw on Friday. The name of his tour was Replenish the Pockets Tour,
Yeah.
which I thought was funny. So I need to replenish my pockets before I go to Europe. This may be not the safest way, but if you're going to do it, you need to do it on Betway. This
Uh-huh.
is our best bet of the day, presented by Betway. Hit an ace with Betway and get up to $200 if your first bet loses, plus 50 bonus spins no matter the result. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the details section to create an account and redeem your offer. Offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply. And this offer is not available in Ontario, and you must be 19 and up to play. Please play responsibly. Steven, last time we were on, you had a great pick.
Who was that?
You picked Djokovic at the beginning. You were like, so I think in his first round matchup, he was like minus 700 or whatever it was, or minus
Right.
600, something that wasn't the usual minus 10,000 for Djokovic in the first
Right.
round.
Right.
So you're like, people don't feel as confident in him. Obviously, they're still confident, but the name to keep an eye on is Djokovic in Geneva. And Djokovic in Geneva delivered title number 100.
That's right. Yeah. Title 100 for Djokovic. And yeah, even, you feel like that's a milestone for him, obviously, because it's 100 titles, which is insane. Um, but there was a little bit of a question too as to when or even if he would get that title because, he hadn't been playing good. First title this year. And then, yeah, it comes in Geneva, which is good for him and great tournament. Came from behind against Hurkacz in the final. So awesome for him to get that, put him into that echelon. I believe, now I could be wrong, someone should fact check me. I think there's only 2 players with more titles, or is there 3?
No, sorry. 3 total
Yeah,
in
there's
the
3 guys
100s.
above
Yeah.
100. Him, Roger Federer, Jimmy Connors. So I
Boom.
think Federer's at 103. He's at 100. Djokovic is at 100 now. The real question I think is, does he break that? It's not even Federer's record because Jimmy Connors has more than Federer, but will he get ahead of Federer in that stat category as well? We'll have to
Would
wait and
love to
see.
see Betway put up a line for that. Just a yes or no one. Do
That
you
would
think
be,
Djokovic will end his career with the most titles
yeah. I think
plus
9 titles is
500?
tough. I don't think he's winning. I think Connors is at 109.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's tough. But
He should
that's
just ATP 250 merchant.
yeah. I love that term, the merchant. Anyways, speaking of best bets of the day, this one is for tomorrow, I believe. So Wednesday. We got Jensen Brooksby versus Sebastian Corda. Battle of the
Mm.
Americans on the French dirt. And I don't know what you think when I just say those 2 names, but to me that seems like a war is ensuing. They've got
War.
Sebastian Corda as a favorite at minus 334, and they got Jensen Brooksby at plus 250 as the underdog. And I kind of like that value for Jensen. Like, to me, Jensen is more of a gamer than Sebastian. No offense, Sebastian. I know he's a Corda, but like Jensen's just a tough out. And Jensen did win Houston on the clay earlier this year, beating Tommy Paul, Francis Tiafoe. So he can play on the dirt, and he's the underdog there, which in reality, when they've both been playing a lot, they have like very similar rankings. So yeah, I think that's a good little play there for Jensen Brooksby as the underdog.
Yeah, I like that. With the thing with Sebastian, it's like if he is healthy, because I feel like that's what he's been struggling with. I do like his top form compared to Brooksby's top form.
Mm,
So that's going to be an interesting match, exciting matchup to watch.
yeah.
So much as you just look through all the matchups coming up and what will be in the third, fourth. quarterfinals rounds, like we're in for some good weeks.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's there's so many matches going on. It's hard to keep a hold of it all, but we're gonna get into some of the results and we'll get into some of the upcoming matches later on in the show. But yeah, that's my best bet of the day for me. A little bit of Jensen Brooksby. I put a little action on it, so we'll see. We'll circle back next week to see if that was wise.
I have next up for us. This could possibly be the quickest segment of all time this week. We have the Alex Eala Hour.
Let's
And
go.
I didn't feel good saying that it would be the quickest segment of all time,
Okay.
but it is what it is. We can only report the facts, and the facts are Alex Eala did not win her match. And let me pull it up right now. Let's see. Who, Emma Arango?
Do you know who that is?
I mean, she's Colombian, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the only reason I know her is because um, Nico Mejia, friend of the show,
Yeah.
he is good friends with her because they're both
Okay.
Colombian
Yeah.
and they have participated in some of these tournaments together. And I believe she might be IMG girl, like came to
Mm,
IMG Academy a little bit,
yeah.
but Sue, a lot of promise as a younger player. And
Yeah.
then, haven't heard too much from her on tour. But I mean, there's so many, how many like great junior players are there? You hear all the ATP guys talk about like, man, who was somebody tough in juniors that you
Yeah.
like just could never beat, and they say a name that's probably not even still playing professional tennis, and it's like it's so nuts to me that there's so many people out there like that.
Oh, it is crazy. Yeah. There's one guy from the ATP Next Gen Finals, like I think the first year that it ran, like which was maybe 2017, and he's like doesn't play tennis anymore. He was in the top 8 guys under 20 years old. He's like a real estate agent in South America or something. It's like crazy.
Crazy, dude.
Um, yeah, so there's lots of people like that. But yeah, Alex Eala, she goes out in 3 sets to Arango. So it was a battle. She lost the first set 6-0, so got bagelled, came
Mm,
back from it, won 6-2, and then lost 6-3. But yeah, it seems to be the theme seems to be her first serve. Like her win percentage on the first serve was only 46%. So she's got to find a way. And clay just might not be her surface really for this because she
right.
does need to so it'll be interesting to see how she is playing at or does play at Wimbledon with her serve, but like it seems to be a big liability and yeah, only winning 46%, like I would say is not sustainable at the top level. She won 54% on her second serve. But as a comparison, Arango won 62% on her first serve and then 55% on her second serve. So much healthier numbers there. For our girl Alex. Tough one, but it is tough. It's people think that, it's going to be an easy, she's just going to keep winning, keep growing up the rankings, but every match is tough at the top level.
Every match is tough. She's still playing in doubles. Maybe she becomes a little problem on the double circuit. She's been playing a lot of doubles tournaments, it seems like, when she enters into these larger ones. So maybe she makes a little run in doubles. And if she does, y'all know we will be the place to come to talk about it because
Yeah.
we're covering her. The losses don't matter. Everybody loses in tennis. So we're not going to jump ship on Alex Eala. We will be here for Eala, for the Filipino fan base, all the new subscribers that have come. We're here. We're not stopping because we know success is inevitable for her.
Yeah.
Someone else who has had a bunch of success, and success was inevitable, especially on the red clay of Roland Garros. That was Rafa Nadal. He had his farewell ceremony, which one of the coolest, I think, ways to honor somebody was that footprint in the clay. But it was awesome watching. Sitton's mom texted us a video of her videoing the ceremony and said, "You guys have got to watch this." Then she sent another video of her videoing about 2 seconds long that said, I'm literally crying right now." So Rafa has touched fans and former players from all across the generations. Steven, what What were you feeling when you were watching it go down?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first thing I saw was all the pictures come out of the big four being there to support, and yeah, I felt like that. Felt like relief. I feel like this was a proper send off for the king of clay. The Davis Cup one last year was not really it. It
Right.
was good, but it was like felt a bit unprepared for. And then I think this year at the French Open on Chatrier with this was kind of perfect. I feel like honestly it was, and the fact that Federer, Nadal, and Murray were all there, Federer, Djokovic, Murray were all there, was just yeah. I was saying like growing up watching those guys, like idolizing them all, like just that was it. It makes me feel like dang, like things are like really this is the end of an era. Like that era is over. Like and it is kind of a bit of a pinch me. I think that era lasted so much longer than it could have. I think
Right.
it helped me not feel like we missed anything. Like I feel like we squeezed everything out of it, and those guys squeezed everything out of their careers that they could. Um, but yeah, just a beautiful ceremony, and I love the plaque, like the footprint there on Chatrier.
Dude,
Like I don't
so
know,
sick.
I haven't heard of that with any other player on any court really. So, it's already Barcelona has the center court is just named after it's like I think it's called Pista Rafa Nadal. Like it's like
Right.
court makes sense. I think he's won that tournament like 14 times as well. But the fact that he has 14 majors at Roland Garros, like we posted on the slice, we posted a crazy stat, which I will read out now of the most Roland Garros titles.
Mm.
And it's great. So like the leaderboard for the most Roland Garros titles is 14 for Nadal. No one's at 13, no one's at 12, 11, 10, 9. Number 8, the second most titles at Roland Garros is just Nadal in his 20s. So he has 8 French Open titles in his 20s, then 7, then Bjorn Borg at 6, and then number 5 with 5 titles is Nadal in his 30s. And then number 4 with 4 titles is Nadal without dropping a set. So Nadal has more titles than any other player in history other than Bjorn Borg without dropping a set and in his 30s. And then Mats Wilander, Ivan Lendl, Hugo Kuerten, and Djokovic have all won it 3 times. And then Nadal in his teens has the same amount as Federer does total. So like just to me that was just at Nadal prop put that together, and it was just like the best showing of the insane dominance of Nadal at the French Open. I guess my question to you is like, do you think Nadal on this surface on clay, do you think he's the most dominant athlete in the history of sports?
I think so, dude, because I pulled it up on I wanted to ask the internet, aka ask Chat GPT,
Yeah.
what compares to Nadal's record at the French Open. And some of the stuff it shows me, one, he's got a 97% winning percentage. In that alone, right there, this level of dominance is nearly unmatched in any other sport. To put it into perspective, these are the only things you could compare it to. Michael Jordan, NBA Finals, because he went to every time he was in the final, he won 6-0. Finals
Yeah.
MVP each time. But he played basketball for however many years it was. So it's not like he went to the NBA Finals every year of his career.
Right.
Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowl wins in 10 appearances. Greatest quarterback ever, but a 70% win rate in finals versus Nadal's 97% percentage win rate in Roland Garros. The Yankees, that one is just kind of dumb. 20 titles between 1923,
Don't compare
1962.
baseball to tennis. That's what I would say.
Right. Margaret Court at the Australian Open, 11 Australian Open titles, but we don't have to get into the draws of that.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton, they have him in there. And then Tiger Woods, they have some of his dominance listed in there. But as you go through them all, and this might be the craziest one. I don't know why they put them together, but I'll just leave it at the one. Michael Phelps, 23 gold medals in terms of gold medal dominance, Phelps would be the best comparison to Nadal's win percentage at Roland Garros, which is nuts, man. Like, the long story short, nobody is touching what he did on clay in Paris. And nobody, if somebody can beat 112 and 3 or 112 and 4, whatever he is now, then I I got to imagine I'll be dead before that happens. But if somebody beats that, there's no way.
It's because like losing, the craziest part about that is losing only 4 matches. But
And I don't even count that last match.
yeah, who was the last match too?
Zverev.
Right,
But,
right. So
like,
yeah,
come on, man. Like, it was Nadal was he's just
yeah,
doing that for the fans. We can't mark that loss to his
yeah.
credit.
No, that's right. And the crazy, I was just looking at it, like his finals record, 14 of, like he never lost in the finals there. So he won every time he made it to the final. He won. So I don't know, like all those other comparisons he made.
Right.
Yeah, like Michael Jordan, 6 for 6. Well, he's 14 for 14, and Michael Jordan, it's tough to compare a team sport to non-team sport,
Right.
but like the players that Nadal played in the final, Federer 2006, Federer 2007, Federer 2008, Federer 2011, Djokovic 2012, Djokovic 2014, Djokovic 2020, Dominic Thiem 18 and 19, Stan Wawrinka 2017. Like all these players are just like the ultimate best player at the time or on the surface, and through all these years, Djokovic or Nadal kept winning. Like
The
literally,
true best comparison, now that I really think about it, that they missed on is John Jones in the UFC.
Mm,
Pretty much undefeated, had the one controversial call, but has never lost his belt, defended his belt every single time.
yeah,
Individual sport, highest stakes versus high level fighters, even though people like to say he was picking and choosing people. I don't care. You won every title fight you've ever been in. You deserve all the respect in the world. But
yeah,
dude, it was crazy seeing them all four on the court. And sometimes I wonder, because nobody is disputing Andy Murray's greatness, but sometimes I can't help but laugh because I know his personality is a funny one.
yeah.
If he's sitting up here, how many majors does he have?
3.
If he's sitting up here like, yeah, I'm not too sure why I'm up here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's like literally 24, 22, 23.
Right, like, which I mean, and I know that he probably does laugh to himself a little bit every time of like that he's grouped in. Obviously, he should be praised for his dominance and his success in his career, but it's so funny to me every time I see those four together because I'm like, yo, this man has three. Everyone else
Ye
is 20 and up.
Yeah, and so, like, I've always called it, like, the big 3, but I get why people call it the big 4 because he was, like, part of that story because he was always there, right? The
Right.
fact that he only won 3 is, like, he was made the most finals, he was number 1 in the world during that time, et cetera, but he's definitely not on the same level as those 3 guys as far as, like, their careers, but he is, like, the supporting cast to it, so, yeah, I think they felt like it was right for him to be out there, and like, a lot of their best moments have come against Andy Murray, so, yeah, but his personality would be like, "Yeah, I helped those guys win a lot of majors," you know? I
Right.
was the loser.
He's like the only ever Grand Slam winner, world number one, that in this scenario with the big four and getting invited out there is he got a participation trophy. But I love
Yeah,
Andy Murray. I love Eddie Murray. I don't want to get it twisted out here.
yeah, don't
Just a
get it
funny
twisted.
observation.
But it's accurate, like, he would joke about that because 'cause he's got a great sense of humor,
Right.
because I think they said combined they have 69 titles or 69 majors, and
Yeah.
he's contributing, like, 4% of those if off the top of
Which
my
I
head.
can't believe he needs to put a photo up from this past week and do the man, it's so cool to be out here, like 69 majors between us. Uh, list off all of the different numbers. where he's contributing like 2 or 3 to. Like,
Yeah.
amazing what we've been able to do together.
That would be funny. I think, that would hit, you know, yeah, but that was so crazy to see them all together, and controversial moment, I don't think this is controversial at all, but I was watching, so the 3 guys walk out, Federer, Djokovic, and Murray from left to right. They walk out to Nadal, and Nadal walks up to them. Who does he go and dap up first? I feel like that was a moment where you're like, this is gonna say something about the level of their friendships. Where's that at? He goes and he goes over to Federer. Boom, dabs it up first with Fed, then Djokovic, then Murray. And I feel
It's
like that was maybe I'm making something out of nothing here, but if he had just gone from Murray to Djokovic then Federer, I don't think anyone makes a big deal about it. But there has been historical beef between Federer and Djokovic, and even Federer, or sorry, Djokovic and Nadal's bases for
right.
sure have thought that there's been some animosity, but am I making something out of nothing, or did he have to be like, you know what? He is probably tightest with Federer, so I think he had to like go with him first.
Right. I think he went with him first, and I think it's just like reading. He was going left to right.
Yeah, that's his excuse.
No, I don't see much in it because I do feel like it would have been, if that was the case, it would have been shake hands with Federer, Murray, Djokovic.
Federer, Murray, Djokovic don't even shake his hand.
Just give him the white guy passing the street.
Hey, no, they're all good, and like Nadal said it so great. He's like, you know, he's like, I've had some tough moments on the court with these guys, and we battle, but at the end of the day, it literally is just a game, and you know, being able to have our friendships outside of the court is important to me, and just kind of being able to appreciate, you know, the moments and like the history we've made is so cool, and that's what they're doing there. And then, you know, I heard more rumblings about a world tour of Nadal, Federer going to play exhibitions together, which I think they should. They'll just like sell out arenas around the world, because even if they're like on one leg each, like they don't even need to hit a
Right.
ball. Like they can just go like hang out
I mean,
and
it
people will
feels
show up.
obvious, right? Federer versus Nadal versus Djokovic and Murray doubles.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
Dude,
that's like the easiest tickets. That'll be the easiest money they've ever made.
I don't know if it was like this for you, but when they're rolling the video of, like, all of the championship matches against Federer and Djokovic and Murray,
Yeah,
when they're all watching it, and it's, Nadal always holding the first place trophy in whichever tournament it was, whether it
right.
be the French Open or whatever.
Mhm.
I would consider myself, especially as a younger fan, like, I loved Federer and I couldn't stand Nadal because he would
Yeah.
always ruin a grand slam, like Federer winning all 4 majors in a year. He would just like ruin all of these moments for Federer, and I couldn't stand him. And as I'm watching the video get played, I'm feeling some of those feelings come back up in me, like, God dang, dude, like, you really ruin these moments by just always winning. And
Yeah.
that it kinda pissed me off, and then once I saw Federer be able to smile, I'm like, "Alright, maybe I can let it go." But I know there's a piece of Federer when he's watching that video, he's like, "This mother effer, dude." Like, I would have been the greatest of all time without question if he was just 2% as good as he is.
Yeah. Like, he would've won 30.
Right.
Like Federer, yeah, there were so many back in the 2000s, like,
The the
pain that
3 the 3, French Open finals in a row.
yeah.
It's like, and then, oh my god, bro, because people will be like, "Yeah, Federer on clay, like, he just can't get it done." It's like, no, Federer is good on clay.
One of the all-time greats on clay.
We just happened to play against the greatest on clay. And so watching it, it just brought up some bad feelings again.
Oh, for sure, and, yeah, for Federer fans, for sure, like, I remember 2011, I wasn't watching tennis when he lost in 2007, 8, or 6, 7, 8, and 8, and then he gets there in 2011, Federer to the final. It's just like, how do you beat this guy? I remember watching that match and just like, and then even in 2017 or 18, yeah, 2017, I think they played in the semifinals or quarterfinals or something, and semifinals, maybe of 2018. It was a super windy day, and it was just like maybe this is the time because Federer had been beating Nadal like a drum for the last year and a half
Right.
on the clay. No, and yeah, so many times that but that's like I think if you were a Nadal fan, like you would have the same amount of feelings from Federer and Djokovic, especially Djokovic.
Right.
So many painful losses to Djokovic and Federer. To be honest, no one has a career like that's perfect that doesn't have moments you look back on it and just feel pain. Um, yeah. So, anyways, but that's the beauty. That's like reliving that big three rivalry is what that ceremony was about in a lot of ways. Um, and it was also, yeah, just respecting the guy who, when Nadal walked out of that court, the video's playing, Eric's talking about what he's done. Yeah, I felt at peace. I didn't feel like he left anything out there.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah.
it's a bit sad, but yeah, there's just nothing like when Dominic Thiem retired. Like I was just depressed watching that, and like you're just like,
Right.
this is a damn shame. He
We
has
were
left so
robbed.
much out here. He was robbed of a career. We were robbed of seeing one of the best players. Probably he would have gone down as one of the best players of all time. But with Nadal, it's like we got every last drop out of this bucket, I think. And yeah, 14 titles at the French Open alone is just mind-shockingly good. So the fact
Yeah.
that he has his own footprint there now is just so cool, and players will be like stepping on that as they walk around the net or whatever for
I know.
generations to come.
It's cool that Alcaraz was in the crowd too, because I wonder. Obviously, he's like a huge Nadal fan, but I wonder if that dark horse demon in Alcaraz's head is like, all right, go time. Like the number is officially set at
Yeah,
14. Now it's my turn. Like every time I show up here, I gotta chase this number.
yeah, absolutely. He's at 1 right now, so 13 more to go. But speaking of that, talking about the French Open in general, he's already won his first match, so Alcaraz is through, Sinner's through. But the more I think about it, and the more I'm like, yeah, Alcaraz is the man to beat this year. Like I think a lot of people were like, it's a 2-horse race, like Sinner, Alcaraz, but is it more like Alcaraz versus the field?
I I think so. It's like as weird as it sounds, you're more worried about him versus every not it sounds crazy. You're more worried about Alcaraz versus everybody else than you are him versus Sinner. Because it's
Yeah,
like by the time he plays Sinner, it's the final, and it's
yeah,
like, all right, recent history is telling us he's going to get it done. Now, when he's playing some of these other guys, we might see some mental lapses, but
yeah. But who could you? I if I just break it down, um, like player by player, like okay, so Alcaraz plays Zverev, and I think if I now I'm forgetting, but I think it's oh, I got it right here. No, I don't. I think it's Djokovic is on the top, right? Of the draw. He's on Sitter's half. I'm
yeah, I'm
pretty sure.
pulling it up right now, trying to pull it up. Um,
That'd be just
Sinner.
here. Excuse me.
Bless you. Bless you. They need to make these brackets easier, by the way.
Yeah, I think. Oh, that's actually crazy if you think about it. Yeah, Djokovic is on the top with Zverev and Sinner, which is crazy if you think about it. So yeah, like I think personally, like Alcaraz he's on the side with he's only gonna have to play one of those guys. But seriously, you put Alcaraz against Zverev, you're like way more mentally strong. Beat him last year in the final. If Djokovic gets to the final, and he's feeling good. I think that's where you're like, okay, well, that's a guy who has
Right.
more experience than Alcaraz in that stage. But the last 2 major finals they've played, Alcaraz has beat him at Wimbledon. So it's not like Alcaraz would be worrying about it or thinking about it. Like he's like, I'm the younger, fitter, have won more majors in the last few years than Djokovic.
Yeah.
I think
It's like,
Alcaraz would back himself there, but
and he's got the last loss versus Djokovic at the Olympics on clay. He's like kind of ready to. All right, let's set the record straight here. Like Clay is my service. Djokovic, he doesn't need to be out here with me.
exactly. But I did see people say, and in the comments, leave your thoughts below. Like they were like, well, Djokovic beat him the last time at the Olympics on this court, so that's gives him an advantage. And to those people, I'm like, well, check yourself. That was a 3-set match, not a 5-set match. And
Right.
Alcaraz is a 5-set beast. Like he loves the 5-set format. He almost like donates a set to his opponent a lot of times because he's like, I'm winning in 5.
Right.
What those means is like it's like something 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 whatever. Lakers in 5.
He's
I
like,
love it. Like, drop the
it's like,
first set, drop the second set, take a medical timeout. Alcaraz in 5.
right. They'll be like, large fry, baby cries, Lakers in 5. Shannon
I love
Sharp,
those.
he crushes them.
Yeah,
Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. Lakers not in 5 this year, but
No.
quick prediction:
Um,
Who's winning the NBA championship for you, JP?
oh man, it's tough because I love Anthony Edwards, so it's like I want the Wolves to win. They played great in game 3, absolutely
Right.
dog walked um the Thunder, but I do think, oh man, it's so tough cuz watching the Knicks versus Pacers last night when the Pacers were whooping up on the Knicks,
Yeah.
and then for whatever reason the Pacers, Aaron Nesmith actually got hurt. He's from South Carolina. Fun
Mm.
fact. He went down with a little sprained ankle, and then the Knicks come back from like 20 down, steal game 3, and now it's like it's getting a little dicey. It's definitely not a lock for the Pacers by any means. The Wolves have their work cut out for them, but I'm a ride with my heart. I'm a ride with the Wolves, even though I do think they, like, roster wise, they probably have the least chance, but
Mm.
I'm taking the Wolves.
Respect. That's crazy, man. This is a total aside, but like I'm looking at this. I don't really follow the NBA much right now, but I did follow it huge for, a long time of my life. Basketball is like my main sport. And like
Yeah.
a lot of these teams that are left, like the Thunder, Wolves, Pacers, and Knicks, like for most of my time watching basketball were like brutal teams, like never in the playoffs or just like had no one of substance. And now they're all in the conference finals, which is pretty cool.
Every single one of those teams was trash except for the Thunder because they had Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, and Harden. And
That
then,
was that was a sick time in the NBA, I will say. When
right.
those 2 guys were on the Thunder.
And I guess the Pacers at the time too, they were the ones giving the Heat a little bit of problem. It was like Roy Hibbert, Paul George,
Danny
um,
Granger.
Danny Granger.
That's good.
Could have
Danny.
been one of the best to ever do it, man, had he not had so many injuries.
Yeah, for real. He was the guy, and then Paul George at that time when he was just like he would just cross over LeBron and then dunk it so hard down the lane. Like, oh, that
Beast.
was that him who did it was like crossover, hezzy, drive by
Paul
him.
George, yeah.
Like I was like,
Young Paul George was crazy.
yeah. Yeah. It feels
Um,
like the entire NBA for some reason now is in like it's like a seniors league where they're all like so rich that it's like, don't touch me. I'm just gonna shoot threes.
that's why I love that these are the 4 teams left. Some of the guys on the teams are free throw merchants, but for the most part, it's a lot of gritty teams out there, like gritty
Yeah.
stars,
Yeah,
which
I
is
love it.
good for the league. I'm struggling.
We're both struggling out here. We're catching a springtime. I don't know what the frick is
Yeah.
going on with me. It's my allergies early morning. I did wake up for 5 a.m. to do this pod.
Shout out Steven. I wasn't able to do it yesterday, Memorial Day. We had some stuff going on with friends.
Oh
Wasn't sure
yeah.
if I'd be back by 6:30. Steven answered the call. He said we can do 7 a.m. your time. I was like, that's gonna be 5 for you. He's like, it'll be great with coffee.
Oh
What
yeah.
an attitude. That could be like the title of a self-help book chapter. Like, it would be great with coffee.
Yeah.
And then it's a whole chapter about attitude.
Yeah, there's
Attitude
like a bunch of
projects your
chapters like
altitude.
that'd be great with coffee, and then like that would be great with a beer,
Right.
and then that would be great with 5.
um,
Uh, it's like
something
everything.
I did see. I know we got to get into the comments. Djokovic saying when Nadal retired, like he felt like, man, kind of what am I still doing out here?
Yeah,
And especially now that he's gotten title number 100, it's like the only thing that he really would be chasing, and it, like you said earlier, it does kind of seem far fetched, would be the most titles of all time.
yeah.
So, and it's like, does he really want to keep playing for that long? Or does it shift to, all right, let me just pass Federer and then retire?
That would seem petty to me at this point because it's not even like a record that Federer holds. He
Yeah.
just has 103 titles, and then that would honestly seem personal. And then I
Would
think
it piss you off?
it would piss me off if he stated that, obviously, which he never would, but it would kind of piss me off a little bit. Yeah, it'd be like he's like gets 104, and he's like, all right, now I'm good. It's like you didn't need to do that. Like you have
You'd be
all
like,
of his
no,
other
man,
records.
go for 109.
Well, what you don't want 109? You don't want 110?
Oh,
No, but,
dude.
I would love like you say, I would love to see Betway put a line on, like, will he get to 104? Will he get to 110? Because I don't think it's easy for him to win titles anymore. Because like you say, he could just go around and be a 250 merchant. I don't think he's gonna do that because he doesn't
Nah, he
wanna
won't
play a
do
lot of
that.
250s. The only reason he played Geneva was because he hadn't won a match on clay yet, I think, or hadn't won back-to-backs at all, and he wanted to prep for the French Open. I guess another question is that he played a few matches there. Is that going to tire him out? Did he leave his best tennis in Geneva? Is he going to lose in the first round of the French Open?
Right. It's such a day by day, tournament by tournament basis for him.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll have to see. I think we should get into the YouTube comment
100%.
comment responses. Yeah, I got them up here. Do you want me to jump into it?
Yeah, do it. I'm searching.
For those
But
of
go
you who
for it.
don't know, if you are watching this and you're new here, thanks for being here and subscribing. If you leave a comment down below, we will, unless it gets to like 100 comments, we will respond to it on the show. So you get your little minute of fame and we get to see what the folks are saying. So starting with account easy 9px says, I think people need to see tennis in person to appreciate other players' technique beyond Federer. I think it's hard to grasp that all players have great technical games on TV. Great point. I think, yeah, this comes from, I think, tennis coach Connor Casey, who was my guest last week, saying that Federer is the most beautiful player ever, which I think is kind of like an objective fact, even
Right.
though beauty is obviously not objective. I think it's pretty much obvious. But what this guy's saying is you might look at a guy like Medvedev and say he doesn't have good technique, but if you're a top player, if you're on television essentially playing tennis, that's like proof that you have good technique. Doesn't really
Right.
matter how it looks. It matters how the racket contacts the ball, and all the players have amazing technique in that sense. So you're totally right.
Totally right. And I think appreciate. I also think that that new baseline view kind of like helps this whole
Yeah.
case of
Yeah.
showing people.
Yeah.
Because he does have a reply, just a
Yeah.
bitter
Read it.
reply.
Can you read it, JP?
Yeah. No, they actually don't have they have incomplete technical games. Most ATP players have a poor, i.e., untrained net game, are about ground strokes, playing as deep as they can manage, and their movement, while fast, lacks light feet and balance. The kind of great athletes found in, say, Premier Soccer mostly don't exist in pro tennis, now with a couple exceptions, while Fed, Nadal, Joker, while Fed, Nadal, Joker, all could have played Premier Soccer in another life. Nil. I'm sorry. Maybe Nadal. But let's not sit here and act like we have enough evidence out there to say Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic could have played Premier Soccer in another life. They're
Well, I actually
built.
Apparently, Federer was an elite soccer player as a junior.
Bro, those builds with their builds, those are not premier soccer players.
You think they're too big?
Yeah, they're too tall and yeah, they don't fit the mold.
I know what you mean. I think what he's trying to say is like those three guys have such unbelievable footwork and are
Right.
so like athletic with their movement. Um, as an example, I think this guy would point to someone like Taylor Fritz, who I think
Right.
would not be good at any other sport.
Yeah, 100%. That's fair.
Like, sorry, Taylor Fritz, a bit of a stray there, but like, he just doesn't look, or like Riley
Most
Opelka, or
It's like so
or
many of
like,
the tall guys.
yeah, so many of the tall guys are just like, even like, Cam Norrie or someone like that. We were just watching him play Daniil Medvedev, or Daniil Medvedev probably. Like a lot of these guys are like good at tennis because of it's so specific, but I don't know. But but then like Alcaraz would be the perfect example of like he's a
Right.
world class athlete because of the way he's balanced and stuff like that. But so I think I see both a bit of what both guys are saying, but I do agree with account EZ saying they all have good technique, which I
Right.
agree. Like net game technique is, what, I guarantee you all these guys, so you go watch them play live and they're not on TV where it's really intense. They all have unreal volleys, just
Yeah,
straight
yeah,
up.
walk out to a practice, you'll see what they got going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Next one, Florida, Caribbean, Pacific. I don't really miss Federer and Nadal, as awesome as they were. I really like the current group of players. They're great to watch.
Respect. I like that
Great
take.
attitude.
Like you said, I think we squeezed it all out of those guys, and I love the new crop as well. Um, at Geo Air Travel, another
Go.
one says 2 thumbs up. Great interview with Canadian coach Connor. He had so many great points about the current state of tennis. I really enjoyed the hot takes portion of the interview. Appreciate the perspectives, the prospectives.
Let's go,
Appreciate
Geo Air
you, Geo.
Travel.
Yeah,
Geo
we
Air
got the
Travel
next.
can spell things however he or she wants to spell things in this channel. And if anybody
Yeah,
ever comes at Geo Air Travel, I promise you, we're coming for you, Liam Neeson style.
we're blocking you.
We're blocking you and we're finding you in person and we're blowing it up on the internet. Like, hey, you talking to Geo Air Travel crazy? But
Uh,
this next one is from It's Jacoby. Connor was hilarious. Definitely bring him back again. I think we probably love to bring him back again.
We'd love to bring him back again, and he's already said that he'd love to come back again to talk more about therapeutic use exemptions because now we're experts on Adderall and all this stuff. So we'll have him back.
Love that.
Um, next one is tennis needs more. At tennis needs more. Hot take: top 100 tennis players in the future will all regularly hit both single-handed and two-handed backhands interchangeably during a match. The same goes for forehands, and even further in the future, they will use both hands if they want to keep up with the 1%. I think that is a hot take. I can't really picture top players using two-handed forehands. I don't even think that helps.
I can't tell you how much I would love to see this happen. just because it would be awesome. It's something new. I'm with you. Like I can't imagine it ever happening because of
Yeah,
how natural it is to be right hand dominant and like your left hand forehand will never be. I shouldn't say never. I'm sure there's probably a lot of baseball players out there that can switch hit or like, well, explain this.
yeah,
But it's like, yeah, you have so much power in both strokes for a reason. So
yeah,
who knows? But it would be cool. I would love to see like a handful of players be able to do it because they'd be fun to watch. They'd make fun plays.
for sure. For sure. Next one says 10 times 10, 6645 says, who are the players on the ATP Pro Tour on Adderall? Did Connor Casey imply Sinner is on Adderall? Do you think he applied it? I don't think he really implied it. I think he just said he was making the point that he feels Sinner is kind of boring compared to someone like Federer. Uh, and then he brought up people being on Adderall. So he kind of, craftfully laid it all together, so he'll let you have to decide what he meant. But I don't think he was purporting that. No.
And I mean, if you talk to players, like they all say the same thing, and they all say that there's a lot of players on tour on Adderall they're on Adderall doing at tournaments, and it's one of the reasons why that they're as locked in as they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the list might be long.
They all say a lot of players are on it, but none of them say they are on it.
Right.
So
So
we'll see. I don't know. I feel
take
like
that
I,
for
I
what
feel
you
like
will.
Sinner to me, my take on that is Sinner seems like a quiet kid who could focus and be good at his schoolwork compared to a lot of other tennis players. So I don't think
Right.
he would need the focus nor need the help focusing, but that's just my
Well, I mean,
opinion.
my thing is if it's legal and if there's ways to get it and it's helping and it's perfectly okay to use, then it's like, then just go use it instead of complaining about other people that are.
Well, I think yeah, fair enough. I think some of the people who complain about it say like it's not like anyone can just take it. Like if you test for it, I believe you need a therapeutic use exemption. And
Yeah.
they're saying like those are given out way too easily because like it's for therapeutic use. Like these people are lying that they actually need it, or that they have
Oh, yeah.
ADD. So it's kind of like they're just like it's a loophole.
You go
Where
to, if you spend a weekend on a college campus in the US, in the SEC,
yeah,
you can walk away with a lot of Adderall by the time your time's up.
yeah, yeah. No, it sounds like it. Or Ohio State, where Connor Casey was, because he said he was on it,
Boom.
which is very
Um,
funny.
next one, AZN Pokering 4184 saying Novak and Sinner are boring is an interesting opinion.
I think he was actually not saying that Djokovic is boring. He was saying that Djokovic's game was not beautiful like Federer's, which
Which,
I can
yeah,
see some people arguing with.
yeah.
To me, it's hard to argue that. Um, next one for me is Marie Pelletier. She says, "How about Althea Gibson?" Which I think she was talking about. Connor at one point was talking about icons of the game being women, like so many like political figures, uh, like Billie Jean King, are like these legendary women. And I feel Althea Gibson was one of those for sure. So shout out Althea Gibson.
Professional tennis and professional golf player. Come on.
Yeah.
Um, Next one I got Cybernet Tennis. In Laver Cup, the head coach has the digression to add a player they want to have. Agassi chose Fonseca. I think Monfils was there for entertainment before too.
Yeah, because that's what from us talking about
Yeah.
Fonseca there. Yeah, but I think both of us agreed like Fonseca being there makes total sense. So neither of us had a problem with that. Next comment is from at Coach Connor Casey. He said watching this video on an Adderall Prozac highball hits different. I love that one. The highball.
That's a legendary comment. Shout out Connor
Yeah,
Casey for commenting on the video too.
word.
Wildflower 2016. Pavi G. Is this you? I love this. I am concerned about the spike of Italian dominance in light of the Colostabel, however you say it, saga. Sinner demeanor is definitely working man like, bordering sociopathic, particularly winning when going through this adversity. How does it not affect you like Swiatek? I don't know who is on the cocktail, but they need to even the playing field and take those legal enhancements away.
Love that. I love how you say borderline sociopathic. How does it not affect you like Swiatek? Well, I'd say because Sinner's a bad man. In the good, like he's a good guy, I think, and I don't think he's cheating, and I never think he did cheat, but I think he's just mentally strong and is like goes with the chip on his shoulder rather than the how could this happen to me type of thing.
Right. He's a no one's coming to save you. Whoops. He's a
Yeah.
nobody's coming to save you type of guy. It's like everything's on him. He goes to bed at night. Whatever happens to me tomorrow is because of me and my actions. And some
Love
other
that.
people out there might be blaming people.
Love that. All right, next one up for me is Brenda Johnson, 5525. says, I'm so glad someone is saying what I've been thinking about Sinner's sociopathic brand of tennis. He is intensely boring, and having only one player challenge him beside Carlos, who thank God plays a beautiful game of tennis, will be the death of the sport. I only watch Sinner when he plays Carlos. Watching him mow over everyone else is not enjoyable to me. I will never forget the dramatic tension from the clean one and two drug test failures, one who suddenly can't lose. My memory is long and I don't have a short attention span. Thanks, Coach Casey. With a clap.
Kind of a bar. My memory is long and I don't have a short attention span. I don't know
Yeah.
why it's a bar, but I love it.
My memory is long. Brenda, she's sitting there. She's like, you're not pulling the blanket over my eyes.
Yep. And then she did get a reply from Wildflower. You are not the only one, sister. He is spitting facts that no one wants to touch. Facts, man.
Facts. Well, I don't necessarily agree with the opinions, or I don't share the opinions, but because I don't mind watching Sinner like when he's beating someone that isn't good. Like I actually have a hard time watching any of the early round matches of the big guys. Like I'm just straight up not watching Alcaraz play his first round match 99% of the time. But when Sinner's like mowing down someone who's like Casper Ruud 6-0, 6-1 in Rome, I'm like, that's pretty fun to watch, I think, because
Yeah.
it's just like domination. And that guy just won Madrid before that. So, anyways. Next one up is Cybernet Tennis. In Laver Cup, the head coach, we already talked about that, sorry.
Yeah.
Next one for me is Junsen 9250 says, guy without hat sounds like he takes Adderall himself or Addy himself. I think he's talking about me.
Hey, did you have a hat on in the interview or no?
No.
Oh.
That's
Steven?
funny. I don't. I said on the show, I used to I wasn't actually on Adderall specifically,
That's
but
what
I was
Sinner
on
said about cholesterol too.
I used to be on it. My brain pathways were changed from the
No wonder
medication
you
as
don't
a
think he's a
child.
cheater, man.
You know what? No cheating here. I can take whatever I want. Jen Zhang, but I'm on the Addy. I will assure you I'm not on the Addy, but I am on the Reactin all day long trying to get through this hay fever season.
Yes, dude. Next one, Cloud Dom 2418. Tennis is the most testing sport, especially singles. Most popular modern gladiatory sports where two lone souls are left on the field to compete. ... Almost to the death. Real
Yeah.
quick. Love this comment, Cloud, but I struggle just a little bit with the most popular modern, well, maybe popular. I guess that could make it work. But gladiatory sport, people left on the field to compete almost to the death. There is a company out there. It is called the UFC, where guys go into the ring and they do pretty much have the intent to at least put someone unconscious. So, but
Yeah.
I like the sentiment. Tennis is number 2 on that list.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Second last one. No one cares 6285 says this is a tough one, I think. Does Steven ever do fact checking before saying things? Because pre-Hamburg, Felix had like 5-match losing streak basically since the final in Dubai where he just won a single match, while Pesci Pericard actually won a 175 in Bordeaux last week and ironically met a winner of another last week's 175 in Turin, Bublik, in his first match in Hamburg. But hey, I guess good for Felix winning more than one match in a row since February. Lol. Also, Coco is just 1 year older than Eala. It's just Coco has been around forever. 1 second here, because I actually did check Coco Gauff. She's 21 years old, and Alex Eala is 20. So you're right. I thought Eala was still 19. Live fact check, but yeah,
She had a
okay.
recent birthday though, didn't she?
She did have a recent birthday, so I don't really care that I'm maybe factually not right on that. But when I was talking about Pesci Pericard winning in a 175 does not count as a winning streak. When you're on the ATP tour,
Right.
going down to the Challenger Tour, those matches do not count. I'm sorry.
Literally on their record, it does not show up.
Yeah, that's literally on the ATP Tour record when it shows year to date. The guy could have won 10 Challenger matches or titles, and he would have 0 ATP match wins. So I was not wrong. And Pesci Pericard has been in brutal form. Him going down and winning a challenger doesn't actually show that much, Proof is because a guy named Borna Choric went down and won 3 challenger titles in a row and then lost in the first round of qualifying for the French Open. So
Hey, don't bring him into this, man.
straight bullet there for Borna Choric, but no, it's like whatever. Does Steven ever do fact checking? Yeah, not that much. Like I do check facts, but I just have a lot of facts in my head. And again, I would love to see any of you come on here, talk for an hour, and just pull things off the top of your head and have most of them be correct. I'm not hurt.
And this guy might need to figure out if he needs to change his name because for no one cares 6285 sounds like somebody cares. Mr. Nonchalant YouTube account name leaving some long comments, coming after some fact checking. Apparently you don't care. So I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from. No one cares because I want to meet you where you're at. Do you care or do you not care?
That is the question. And the last question is, JP, for maybe the most ambiguous comment we've ever gotten from Nil757. His comment is just cretins.
I'm scared. Like, what does that mean?
I don't even know what a cretin is. Like a crustacean?
And I can't remember if you're looking it up, I can't remember if we read this one or not, but Tofori Music, they commented my fave Instagrammer.
I just looked up cretin, which maybe proves that we are that, but it says it's a noun, cretin, a stupid person.
I'm gonna have to clip that just for our own sake.
And then that's the number one definition. Number two is a person whose mental and physical development has been impaired by a deficiency of thyroid hormone in fetal or early life.
Damn, not the thyroid.
Dang. So you're calling us cretins. Me and Coach Connor Casey and JP, or all three of us, or just one of us, or who, I don't know. But
let us know let us know in this video who's a cretin. And also I'm definitely gonna add that to my vocabulary when I'm getting into some verbal altercations with people.
Be like, look, you're a cretin, so I don't expect you to understand this, but yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for leaving comments. Those are all the comments from last week. Leave yours this week down below to talk about Rafa's ceremony, French Open starting, Taylor Fritz losing. We didn't really talk about that, but it's not the biggest headline in the world, to be honest. No offense. But yeah, lots going on. We're going to be breaking it down daily going forward here on the Slice. So make sure you subscribe to the Slice. Catch us on Instagram where we have lots of stuff going on with our clips and coverage. And yeah, get around it. Thanks for being here.
Boom. Peace. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe.
See you next time.